All right, so we're going to talk about the...
It's actually a video this time, not a picture.
Well, first, I should probably just announce that I barely put on makeup, but this is like the first day I've put on makeup in like a week because yesterday, Corey, I won't say what you called me, but sometimes you just gotta look homeless for a few weeks so that when you go on a date or something, when you're walking...
that's insensitive to homeless people.
Yeah, that was pretty rude. Sometimes you have to look bad, okay? So that when your husband finally, after 8 months, says, hey, you want to go on a date? You come walking down the stairs, and it's like the scene from Princess Diaries, where her hair is like this at the beginning, and she's like crazy looking, and then she comes down and she's a supermodel. So we'll see if it works. Marriage advice.
What have you been saying for the past 30 seconds?
What?
I missed it.
Oh.
It's all right.
Okay, so basically, this video is just a little bit of a background along with some updates of kind of what's going on with us.
It's going to be like a 30,000 foot view background, not super detailed.
Yeah. So, all right. So to start, this is just kind of like a baseline video, I guess, right?
Sure.
And also, so we can remember, because our life is so chaotic that half the time we don't even know it's like, we're like, oh, that happened? How did we get here? That's how I feel. Do you feel like that?
What? Where are we?
Stop. Stuff just goes so quick that sometimes you're like, how did we get to this place?
Yeah.
So...
Don't even recognize yourself anymore?
We've done things out of order, always. We got pregnant with Carter. We got married when I was like 8 months pregnant. So we were married when he was born into the world. And then we had an actual wedding while we were still in college a couple years later because I didn't want to have a full wedding when I was pregnant. And then we both went to college.
I just want to hit that we didn't get married because she was pregnant, but we knew we were going to get married anyway, so we said might as well just do it before.
We kind of did.
But I mean, does anybody really know?
But God, ultimately, we wouldn't change anything.
We don't condone getting, if somebody gets pregnant before marriage, is what I'm getting at. We don't promote just getting married.
Right.
Because of that.
Well, we had a lot of hard discussions. We decided that we were going to, for a really long time, if you remember, I was like super hesitant about when I was pregnant. Everybody's like, get married. You guys have to get married. And I was like, dude, I don't want to get married. It's not that I didn't like Corey, but marriage is like a big deal. So we had a lot of hard discussions, and then we decided that it's going to be best for our family and for our son and for us. And we do like each other and we love each other, and we're going to get married. So we got married.
We were like, I better lock this dude down.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, we went to... Nobody knows what you're saying. Okay.
I said it was the other way around.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, so we both went to school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school to be a nurse. Corey went to school to be a teacher. We were both bound and determined to finish our degrees because
I thought that was
why
the
wouldn't
right thing
we?
to do at the time.
So we finished school. I finished first.
Secure, stable.
Corey finished shortly after,
Mm-hmm.
and I became a nurse, and Corey did not become a teacher. Which, so that's kind of the first
That's a whole other
theme.
video.
The theme of our life is that even as much of a control freak as I am, and as, I don't know, are you controlling? Yeah, you are. Ultimately, you can plan all day long, but we are not the ultimate deciders. God has a plan, and it's greater than ours. So that's basically the theme. So, I'm a nurse. Corey
actually gets hired by your
company.
family's company.
Yeah, the week
in
that
a
he
leadership
graduated.
Position.
The week that he was graduating, he got a phone call from my uncles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dad had been helping assist, and
I'd been working for them part-time already.
So it's not like it was just
it's
like,
out of the blue.
Ding, ding, yeah.
No, but actually is a side note that if you work hard and go above and beyond what you're asked to do, which is a whole other video, but then opportunities will open.
Opportunities that you might never realize.
Yeah,
so
I never would have.
Corey accepted this position,
Mm-hmm.
right? and we were still living with my parents. We lived with my parents while we had Carter, while we were finishing school. We all lived up in a bedroom, and we
that
were
was
very,
a tough decision
very
too.
grateful for
and
that.
That's probably a different video as well, but that was we were considering getting our own place, and then we decided to go extreme. And even though we both had full-time, good-paying jobs, live with your parents for another year to save up money and pay off student loan debt.
Yeah, because we were about $150,000 in debt at that time. So we were like, and our school loans were bigger than a mortgage.
We wanted to buy a house.
So we were trying to be financially smart. Anyways, so we were living with my parents. Mm-hmm. Corey and I was working night shift as a nurse, and we had a 1-year-old. Corey, his job was requiring him.
Yeah. So I was in a leadership position. I was traveling a lot. I chose that position just because there was a lot of opportunity to grow and learn as a person in leadership, and but I did travel a lot, and we had
like probably I would say what
like 20 days
out of the month.
Yeah.
So he was gone
for 2 years.
Yeah.
2.5.
So fast forward, I'm working night shift for a long time. Corey's traveling a lot. I had a lot of help from our family, which we will forever be grateful for that. We owe a lot to them, but they would never ask us to repay them. So we're so thankful for that. But then I got pregnant with our second child, Liberty, and
we bought a house.
Yeah, so that's why we decided, okay, we need to get a house.
Yeah.
Maybe
that was February.
4 people in 1 bedroom.
That was in February.
So we bought a house. I got a new job closer to home, working day shift, which I absolutely loved that job. It was at a children's hospital. It was amazing. I loved the people that I worked with. But Corey was still traveling a lot. And so I was having to keep up the house by myself, work full time. And basically 20 days out of the month, I was a single parent. And with help from my parents and help from family, but still, it was hard. It's not the same when you don't have your husband around, for those of you who know what it's like.
So fast forward.
About
7 months later.
I was like, enough is enough.
Bethany,
you've got to stop traveling.
Well, and Beth's dad and mom and dad had started a business in Southern California that May, I believe. And they were traveling back and forth from Ohio to California and needed help. They said they needed somebody that had experience, somebody that they could trust. And again, this is no testament to me at all, but just all you have to do, anybody can do it, work hard and
pester too, because they didn't want us to go.
And learn a bunch of information, because I was reading a lot of books and listening to a lot of audios when I was in that leadership position, and it really prepared me not only for that position, but prepared me for what was to come. And anybody can do that.
So it was still working for the same business, but it was just a branch that my parents owned.
Almost like a franchise.
And Corey decided he was going to move out to California to get it up and running, help get it up and running. We had a lot of plans. Yeah. And so...
Can I just make a little bit of detail on that? It was pretty crazy. So I left Beth and Carter and Liberty. Carter was 3, right? Liberty, or
was 10
4?
Months old.
And Liberty was like, not even a year old.
So...
And I moved out to California. We left our cushy job. I left our house that we had just bought 8 months prior, and I moved into an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment in Riverside, mattress on the floor, no furniture. I had a computer chair and a desk, and my mattress was on the floor.
So we took a leap of faith. Corey, it wasn't really a pay cut, but it was a lot of risk, but a huge potential for opportunity.
Yeah.
So 8 months after we bought our house, we listed it for sale. So Corey, Liberty and I drove cross country. We dropped him off in California. We flew home. I went back, kept working, packed up our house, sold it, stayed in Ohio, moved back in with my parents, with the kids. And Corey would come home you would come home like once every 6 weeks to visit. It was really... Yeah. Really hard.
And the whole time I'm by myself. Like, I didn't know anybody when I was doing.
And we're not saying this like we don't feel sorry for ourselves.
No.
We chose
sorry.
it.
I wouldn't change anything.
we had really
was a
good
great
opportunities.
experience.
It was a huge blessing because we knew at that time that was what God was calling us to do,
Right.
even though everybody was like, you
Right.
guys are crazy.
Yeah, I never
You
would have went
guys
to
are
California
unstable.
if God would have
Like,
said go to California.
People told us that we were going to fail. We had family members tell us that the business was going to fail, that California is inhabitable, and that...
And family has well intentions. Most of the time, family has good intentions. They're looking out for you, but they want to protect you. And that's how we felt. They just wanted to protect us is what it felt like. And they didn't want us to take a bunch of risk. And just because that wasn't their life.
It was risky what we
was.
did. But sometimes in life, it's not like we were impulsive, but it might have seemed impulsive to other people, but sometimes in life, things happen and things just fall into place, and that's like, that's God telling you and God pushing you to make a move, and that's what we did. And so we took a leap of faith. We followed what we felt we were being called to do. I moved back in with my parents. Corey moved to California, and we stayed that way for about 6 months. Every 6 weeks, he would come visit us. It was really hard, but it was a really cool opportunity. But after about 6 months, we were like, okay, enough is enough. We're moving. And that was another hard thing.
And really, and you'll see this a little bit as we get a little bit forward and get to where we are now, but I think you feel the same way. My life feels unsettled. I feel this, like, I don't know how to explain it. If I'm
restless.
If I'm not following what God wants. So if I were to choose to be like, dude, I'm not going to California, that's crazy, and didn't do that, I feel like the rest of my life I would have felt this.
Because you loved your job.
Yeah.
You loved your job in Ohio, and the company is an amazing company.
Right.
And we had a pretty good setup. We were close to family. We had really good friends, but still, even with everything being so good, it was like, this isn't where we're being
And that's not a bad thing. I mean, some people, that's what God calls them to do. It's just not what he was calling us to do.
So
fast forward a little bit.
We ended up moving. That was, a lot of pushback, and it's understandable. Carter and Liberty were the only grandkids at that time.
Yeah.
On both sides. So people weren't very happy that we were taking the kids away, but we weren't very happy to be living
split apart,
separate, our family separate. It wasn't good. We moved. We lived in the two-bedroom apartment with you for like a month until we found a house, and
I had been out there for 6 months at this point.
Yeah, I took a couple full-time nursing positions in California to help us get going, and then
we moved to Canyon Lake.
Yeah, we moved to Canyon Lake, California. We loved it.
Which was a fun time. We had lots of people come and help us.
Yeah, we had really cool opportunities to have. My sister came out for like one of my 3-month assignments. I did travel nursing and watched our kids because we didn't know anybody out here. So she lived with us. Corey's brother lived with us. He still lives with us because he's working for the business. My cousin McKenna, she got to live out here with us for 4 months. Yeah, it was awesome. So we've been here for 3 years. It's been awesome. It's been a great opportunity. We've learned so much. We've met so many good people.
Yeah. And so much learning, because I went from more of a construction type position to I had to learn sales. I'd never done sales before, to starting to manage people, work with contractors and architects and all these different things that I hadn't done before, and which forced me to grow as a person, as a professional, and the same for you. Yeah,
I took 2 nursing assignments out here, so I worked for about a year, and then we went home for Thanksgiving, and the whole time I actually have a post of it. It's titled Pursuit of a Purpose, I believe, and it talks about kind of my nursing journey and how same thing, I felt unsettled. I liked being a nurse and I loved taking care of people, but ultimately I knew that wasn't what in my heart, even though everybody was like, you have a good degree, you have a great job, it pays you well, you're good at it. Why don't you want to be a nurse? But I couldn't explain it. It's because that's not the desire that God has put on my heart. So I actually ended up leaving nursing to be home more, and also then I talk about it more in the post, but I started doing a sales position and helped with the business and learned a lot with that too. So
God seems like our gifts that He's bestowed upon us is something to do with serving and helping people, because that tends to be what we get to. I want to be a teacher because I like to teach. I like to help people grow.
I love taking care of people
and helping
except
them.
Except for him when he has the man flu.
All right.
No, and
we get to do that with what we're doing now with the team that we have here, which is a great team of people. And just a little bit, the business is doing very well. The first 3 years, we doubled in.
We're one of the top dealers in the country.
Yeah, we've been in the top 10 out of over 60 dealers now in the country. We've won awards.
Yeah. And before you go, before you continue, I just want to say that when we first moved out here, we obviously kind of were partners with my parents, like working alongside them. Yeah. And we did have intentions to potentially be actual partners, own part of the business, buy part of the business. That was kind of our plan, and that was our thought process. And we had told people, we told our family this kind of to appease them, but we'll probably just be out there for about 3 years and then come back home. So we'll be back. It's not going to be forever, but then we ended up coming out here, and we absolutely...
We love it.
Love it.
We love our church. We love our friends.
An amazing church. We have amazing friends. We love the weather. We love the location. Like, we're in love. So,
we are.
Also, we're in love. But also, over the last year, some stuff has happened, and, we've faced some things we never, ever, ever, ever thought that we would have to go through. But, like, the direction that we thought we were going to go in, and we were trying to stay on that path, like
for our lives.
For our lives.
Yeah, where we thought we were going. We thought we were going to be here forever.
Yeah.
I think is what you're getting at.
Yeah, we thought we were going to be here forever.
We just it was almost like we it was like, okay, we're doing this for God, and pushed God to the side, and then just plowed forward with our own plan, our own future, and what we thought and what we wanted.
Know that God is calling us to do other things.
Yeah, so a lot of things unfolded. Just when we say that, we mean like just figuring out what that would look like as far as being owners of the business. And then we lost McKenna, close family member, our Callie daughter, spent time with us here over the summer. And
slowly things here just started.
We started looking at things differently.
Started looking like, okay, what are you here for?
What's our purpose?
What is your purpose? We really started reevaluating things, and for many reasons, various reasons that we're not going to get into, because while we're willing to be transparent about our lives, some stuff it's not our business to share. But the business didn't work out. So we are not going to be owners of the business. We are actually going to be leaving the business on good terms. Mm-hmm. We love it here. The business is going to do
and the business is doing well.
Even without us.
The business won awards again this year.
Yeah.
That we've added great team members that are doing well and just kicking butt.
Yeah. But we are going to move back to Ohio. Corey.
And when we were going through and figuring out what was going on, what our future was going to look like, I don't remember what Sunday it was. I don't remember what sermon it was, but I was sitting in church, and Ryan was talking about something. It wasn't even like the topic, but he said, I remember him saying, like, go home.
And was that about Nehemiah?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I really don't remember. I specifically remember that. It was just like, boom, it just like hit me in the face. And it was like, that was the last thing I wanted to do.
And we don't want, like, people, if you're not Christians or whatever, we clearly are, but, like, it's not like we're like, oh, there's God right there, and, like, this is it. But at the same time, we have found that when you're close with God, when you are close with God, and you're in the Bible, and you're going to church, and especially for me, who is a super indecisive person. Like, I can't even decide, like, what to wear or what to eat or what my kids should do that day. Like, when a big life decision is coming and I, like, know for a fact what we should be doing, I know that is God pushing us to do that.
Yeah. And there are principles and things that you can pick up and share in our journey that, as a non-Christian, are totally relatable, and for other principles are relatable. Just for us, it's our faith in Jesus and what we feel like He's calling to do. And we're not heavy on religion. We're heavy on relationship.
Yeah.
It's all about, we don't go to church because we have to.
Yeah.
We don't read our Bibles because we have to, because God's going to bring down the hammer. We do it because we want to.
Yeah. So when Corey was like, so for me, I'll be honest, we were going to church and stuff, but I was really struggling because I love it here. And Corey was like, oh, I'm not going to be part of this business. And so for a couple of months, it was like a fight because I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we have every 2 years picked up and moved, and I'm exhausted. And we can't make friends because I always know we're going to be on to the next journey. So what's the point in establishing relationships? In the beginning of 2018, last year, I was like, oh, we're going to stay. So I really started actively trying to make friends here and get the kids involved and find a church that's closer, because I was like, if we're going to stay, we need to find support here since we don't have family out here. So I started doing that. And then everything took place in 2018. It was just crazy, a lot of ups and downs. And Corey was like, all right, Emily, we're going to leave the business and we're going to go home. And it was a lot of back and forth between us.
But I strongly just feel this overwhelming sense that that's what God wants us to do. And so that's why we looked at, okay, why are we going?
Yeah.
Because if we're going to go, what are the purposes? And then that's a different video.
Yeah.
So click on that video. I don't think we have a title for it yet.
Basically, yeah, we do.
We do?
Rent versus buying. But
what's it called? Rent versus buying?
Shh, I just whispered it. Okay, so anyways, to close, I just want to say that even though I feel some days that we're going, and I'm going begrudgingly, and I'm going kicking and screaming because I don't want to leave, I have felt the more I've kind of let go of my selfish desires and I've taken a step back and just like prayerfully said, all right, God, this is in your hands. If something will present itself here, we will stay. And if something is not, then we're going to go. And
what happened?
I don't know. We're going.
No. Okay, so the house we're renting.
Oh,
hold on. Okay, let me just. So the house that we've been renting, that she actually put it up for sale. Our lease was technically up last May, and we're in February now.
Yeah. And we asked if we could do a month to month until it sold. We thought we would be here for like another month.
Right. It didn't sell. Again, and so finally she took it off the market, and we were just like, oh, okay. Well,
maybe we're supposed to stay.
Maybe we're supposed to stay. That works out. And literally, was it 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. 2 weeks ago, they're like, and it was off the market.
We had already given a timeline that we were going to go back to Ohio in March. But I told Corey, I said, listen, we can tell people we're leaving, but if something presents itself that we get to stay, we're staying. We'll stay. Like, we will stay. Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, we get a phone call, and the house sold. And we've got to be out in 60 days, which would have been
the end of March.
Yeah, which would be the end of March.
So it would have been the same timeline that we had already told my parents that we were leaving the business. So that was kind of the final thing where I'm like, okay. Well,
so then your parents kicked it into high gear to find a place because they're going to be spending more time out here to run the business. Mm-hmm. And they found a house, signed the lease, and we were like, okay, we're getting, I'm blanking on the word.
Like a nudge? What do you
mean?
No,
where they go back and prorate. They prorate our rent. Mm. So we're like, dude, we got to get out of here. So we're like, we're going to get out in 7 days. So we find out that they got the house that we're moving. And 4 days later, we're
packed for Ohio.
Yeah, so we started just packing most of our stuff for Ohio. So now we're back with living out of bags with a mattress on the floor, like this whole thing started. And the nice thing is it's humbling because you can get comfortable. We're actually in the house right now. We're picking up a few extra
Our
things. Our empty bedroom.
Yeah.
But I like this house. It was the nicest house I've ever lived in. It was the size. It was a big house, more than what we needed. But we're not really about things per se. So it doesn't. But it's kind of humbling to have our mattress back on the floor. Like we're leaving. Like for me, I started with my mattress on the floor here. I left my comfortable house, nice house that we bought, started coming out here by having a mattress on the floor, and now we're leaving. It's kind of ironic, I think.
But the business is huge now.
Yeah, but the business is big, and it's not because of us.
Yeah, no, not because of us.
We played a part.
You're not having the mattress on the floor because we're failing out here.
No, it's just a funny visual kind of thing.
Anyways, just to wrap things up, this has been a super long video, but it's for us just as much as it's for anybody else who might watch it.
Could have been longer.
We are crazy. We know people think that we're crazy. We don't care.
Or are they crazy?
We don't care.
And we're normal.
We will always do what we feel that God is calling us to do. If we would have felt like we needed to go be a missionary somewhere, we would.
Or sell oranges to Canadians.
We don't really care what people have to say about it, as long as we're not like doing something dangerous or illegal, like we've actually lost our minds, then we will always do what we need to do to walk the path that God is directing us.
I just want to add something. And we love our family. We love our Ohio family. We love our California family. We're very thankful to your parents for the opportunity.
We're thankful to all of our family for supporting us.
Yeah.
It's like, even though they thought we were crazy, all of them still.
And I also just want to say we're thankful for our friends here, our church. We're thankful for our business team here. There's the great people we know. That things are going to be in great hands when we leave.
For sure.
And they're probably going to be better. They're probably going to do better without us. Mm-hmm. We're probably holding them all back.
For sure.
But
and I want to say that I don't know what the future holds. Like I said, we'll do whatever we need to do, but I do see us coming back here. So stay tuned, because even if we just have a place to vacation.
Here, where are you thinking? What does here mean?
To California. Because
beach home?
I love it here.
Maybe.
So we'll be back. California will always be, I don't even want to call it a second home, because this has been more of a home to us than Ohio since we've been married. We've lived here the longest, and
I thought that you had that sign in the hallway that says "You are my home." I thought I was your home.
Yeah. The people are always the home, but as far as location goes, Ohio and California are tied, and we'll always come back to visit. We'll always come visit our church, and
all right. So stay tuned. Next, after we move to Ohio in the end of March, May, we're planning on moving to Canada,
and
in
then
June,
Texas,
and then maybe South Dakota.
And then we'll be back to California. Stay tuned on our journeys.
Yeah.
All right. Check out our next video on where we're going to live in Ohio. What type of structure? Might be a garage. Who knows?